Hey everyone, my name is BitShark and welcome back to my channel. As you all have probably heard, the Chasm will be coming to Genshin Impact in patch 2.6. With the release of this new region only a few weeks away, I figured that now would be the perfect time to do a deep dive and analysis of the lore surrounding this mysterious place. Now, this may surprise a lot of you, but when it comes to the lore of the Chasm, we actually have several detailed accounts outlining its past and history. One of the best sources of information regarding the origins of the Chasm is the lore book called The Records of Liyue. The lore entry on this reads as follows. In a past beyond memory, when even Rex Lapis would still have been young, a star fell from the sky into the barren plains west of Liyue. These plains were transformed into a huge and deep chasm in the wake of that star's descent, and jade would emerge from within, beautiful and limitless, and it would become the foundation for 1,000 years of industrial mining in Liyue thereafter. Legend has it that when that nameless star fell, a fragment of it broke off and crashed into the rocks in northern Lisha. As most know, wordless stones harbored soul and spirit, and in manners and times not witnessed by mortal eyes, they watched and listened to the ley line's pulses, the echoes of the alpine springs, and the slow but inexorable movements of the mountains. But unlike the ordinary but enduring stone of the earth, the fragments of the meteorite that fell from the heaven had a proud and agitated temper. Later, when countless gods and rulers fought over the appointed celestial seats, and the very stars and abyss themselves faded, tragedy and evil embarred the breath of the waters and mountains. The fallen star could bear this no longer, and heedless of the great chasm's persuasions to stay, it leaped away towards the heavens. At or around this point of time, Zhongli and his people would migrate to an area south of Mount Tianheng where they would eventually build Liyue Harbor. According to Zhongli's story questline, the Geo-Bishop Lord Ajdaha was present for the founding ceremony of this city. It was here that Ajdaha created a contract with Zhongli promising to defend Liyue. It's not entirely clear, but at some point either before or after the founding of Liyue, the people would begin to mine at the chasm for the precious ores and jades that could be found within its depths. After many years of aggressive mining, the miners would end up damaging the ley lines that lay beneath the chasm. This caused untold suffering for Ajdaha, and when combined with the erosion that he suffered from, he would go mad and attack the chasm. In response, Zhongli, Mountain Shaper, Mooncarver, and a third unknown adeptus would join forces to fight against the crazed Ajdaha. After an intense battle, Zhongli and the Adepti would defeat Ajdaha and seal him away. With peace restored within the region, the people of Liyue once again returned to the chasm to resume their mining operations. Unfortunately, this peace would not last very long. According to the tenacity of the Millelith set and the records of Liyue, this would all come to an end with the invasion of the Abyss. From deep within the depths of the chasm and the Dunyu ruins, abyssal monsters and creations would pour forth, wreaking havoc on the surrounding areas and the city of Liyue Harbor. In response, Rex Lapis would dispatch the Millelith and an Unknown Yaksha to defend the people against this malicious force. In the lore entry for the Flower of Accolades, it states that, as the abyss flooded forth, the Millelith escorted countless civilians to safety. Miners tell tales of a small number of troops from the rear guard who remained in the chasm. Together with the nameless Yaksha, they fought courageously until they too made the ultimate sacrifice amongst the jagged rocks. Though hundreds of lives would be lost in the battle against the Abyss, the nation of Liyue would emerge victorious and the forces of the Abyss lay vanquished. Even after 500 years, the people of Liyue still to this day remember and commemorate the sacrifices that these brave warriors and the Unknown Yaksha made during the Cataclysm. With the Abyss utterly defeated, the people yet again returned to the chasm to resume their normal mining operations. However, there were signs that indicated that the situation was not entirely resolved like many had previously thought. According to the lore for the Black Cliff weapon series, precious ores were quickly becoming scarce within Liyue. In an attempt to procure more precious stones, the miners would continue to dig deeper, and this included the mines at the chasm. Eventually, the miners would reach something known as the Earth's core, and in doing so they would accidentally unleash a horde of monsters into the mines. After an investigation by the Chasm, it was decided that the Earth's core was too unstable and needed to be sealed off due to the monster infestation. However, this wasn't the only issue, as mining this deep also damaged the ley lines beneath Liyue. This would disturb the sealed away Ajdaha as well as the meteorite from the chasm, resulting in earthquakes that plagued the region. To bring an end to these natural disasters, a blacksmith named Han Wu crafted the Black Cliff Slasher and gave it to his son Han Se. Han Se then took the sword into a mineshaft and used it to create a shrine to ward off evil and contain the dragon. It seems that their efforts worked, as the tragedies began to subside over time. And this leads into the present day, where trouble seems to be brewing again within the depths of the chasm. According to various signs scattered throughout the region, the chasm has been closed due to a series of mysterious accidents that have been occurring throughout the mines. Additionally, local miners seem to have unearthed mysterious relics from the chasm that had strange effects on the people they came into contact with. In a conversation with Shizhuang the Strong, we learned that all the miners who came into contact with these relics were put into comas. Sounds awfully familiar, doesn't it? Anyways, because of this, the Qixing shut down the chasm to protect the people of Liyue. Additionally, according to Mu Zhen, one of Beidou's crew members, the Qixing also unearthed ruin machines that were related to the cataclysm 500 years ago. Based on the teasers shown in the most recent Genshin livestream, it seems very likely that the ruin machine referenced by Mu Zhen is the ruined serpent. Given all this information, it appears that the situation at the chasm has deteriorated fairly recently. With this quick summary of the chasm lore out of the way, I wanted to dive a little deeper into the lore surrounding the chasm as well as what we can expect from this region. So let's start off with the thing that kicked off all the events that occurred within the chasm, the meteorite. So far, we know that the chasm was formed when a meteorite crashed into the plains west of Liyue. This meteorite apparently broke into several fragments, one of which formed the Dunyu ruins. However, that is not what I wanted to focus on here. The thing that I found really interesting is that the star seems to have a personality. In the lore entry for the records of Jueyun, it says that the star had a proud and agitated temper. Additionally, when evil energy pervaded the land during the Archon War, it appears to have had a negative effect on the meteorite itself. I guess whatever happened during the Archon War did not pass the vibe check, so the meteorite and its fragments were like, I'm out of here. All jokes aside, this account from the lore book Records of Jueyun seems to suggest that the meteorite has some level of sentience. We also get indirect confirmation of this from the Black Cliff weapon series lore. The Han family, the creators of the Black Cliff weapons, were worried that their mining activities may have disturbed Ajdaha and the meteorite. Although the events described in the Black Cliff weapon series lore occurred thousands of years after the lore from the records of Jueyun, it also seems to confirm the idea that the meteorite is sentient or at least can act on its own accord. It also seems to suggest the idea that there may be fragments of the meteorite that still remain in the chasm even after it decided to jump back into the sky. Lastly, I wanted to point out that according to Shizhuang the Strong, workers recently uncovered relics that put people into comas after coming into contact with these mysterious relics. Could these relics possibly be leftover fragments of the meteorite that impacted Liyue thousands of years ago? I personally am not entirely sure, but it's definitely possible. Something that's a bit unclear to me is why Shizhuang specifically uses the word relic to describe the object in question. This makes me a bit more inclined to think that the relic may not be related to the meteorite, but a man-made object instead. All that aside, let's just assume that the relic is related to the meteorite and that it's putting people into comas. Now, I'm not sure about you guys, but this sounds eerily similar to what happened during the Unreconciled Stars event. During this event, Liyue and Mondstadt were plagued with meteorite showers. Touching the meteorites would put people into comas where they dreamt of climbing a tall, snowy mountain. We later find out that these meteorites contained the memories of an adventurer named Leonard. His memories and will were so strong that they caused the meteorites to fall from the sky. During this questline, we also run into the Fatui and Scaramouche, who were also investigating the meteor fragments. When the questline comes to a close, Scaramouche reveals that the memories of Leonard contain a far greater secret, and that is that the stars and sky are all a lie. If the Unreconciled Stars event is connected to the chasm, it would definitely explain a lot of the phenomenon described within the lore we have on the chasm thus far. So perhaps the meteorite that fell into the chasm contains the memories of someone who lived in Teyvat thousands of years ago. The implications of this are huge, and if this is true, we may learn about a time before Celestia, a time where Faunus and his shades were the rulers of the land. Regardless, I have a strong feeling that the traveler will have to gather fragments of the meteorite to piece together these memories and uncover the truth behind the formation of the chasm. Though the meteorite will play a large role in the upcoming patch with the chasm, it sounds like there's something much greater going on here. According to multiple lore entries and NPCs, the chasm has been closed indefinitely due to a threat that the Chising uncovered. Mu Jun, one of Beto's crew members, reveals that the Chising has discovered ruin machines that were related to the Cataclysm 500 years ago. With the abyssal invasion originating from the chasm and the Dunyu ruins, it seems very likely that the Abyss Order and Khaenri'ah will be the main topics of the upcoming patch. During our time in Enkanomiya, we learned that a convoy from Khaenri'ah visited the underground city right before the people left for Watatsumi Island. Since Enkanomiya is so isolated from the main continent, Khaenri'ah most likely had to use some sort of technology to traverse and dig their way to Enkanomiya and possibly other underground cities and domains. In the most recent livestream, MiHoYo revealed a device known as the Ruined Serpent. In the livestream, it's revealed that this ruined machine is outfitted with various drills and gears. Based on the design and its worm-like aesthetic, this machine was most likely used to dig through rocky terrain and create tunnels beneath Teyvat. Now, according to Mu Jun, these machines were directly responsible for the events of the Cataclysm within Liyue. Although we don't have all the details regarding the Cataclysm, we do know that Rhine-Daughter had a hand in creating the abyssal creatures that invaded Teyvat. My theory here is that the ruined serpents created tunnels beneath Teyvat that eventually led to the chasm and Dunyu ruins. When the abyssal creatures flooded the tunnels, they eventually emerged in Liyue, which resulted in the events described in the Tenacity of the Millilith set and the records of Jueyun. With the recent discovery of ruined serpents at the chasm, the Chising have gone ahead and shut down mining operations within the region. Clearly, this is something they are concerned about, especially considering the role it played with the Cataclysm 500 years ago. Additionally, the Abyss Order seems to be ramping up their operations as of late. Take, for example, Enkanomiya. Enjo was actively going through the archives and messing with the Dainichi Mikoshi. It's very likely that the Abyss Order is also ramping up with their operations at the chasm as well. In the We Will Be Reunited questline, the Traveler works with Dainsleif to foil the Abyss Order's plans to use Osile to destroy the gods in Teyvat. I have a feeling that the chasm contains some sort of secret or power that the Abyss Order is looking to harness. The meteorite could definitely play a role in this conflict, or maybe it's the object known as the Earth's core. After all, according to the Black Cliff Weapon series lore, it's somehow linked to a monster infestation deep underground. Although we may not have all the details on the situation, we do know that the Ruined Serpent is active and currently digging for something in the chasm. What that is up for debate, but just know that whatever the Abyss Order is after, it's probably not something good. That being said, it's very likely that we'll run into a certain character we haven't seen in a while. Dainsleif. With Enjo messing around Enkanomiya and the Abyss Order digging around the chasm, you can bet that Dainsleif is close by monitoring their activities and investigating their plans. Whatever the case is, something big is going on in the chasm and the Traveler is going to need to intervene in this crisis. And finally, there's one other thing that probably warrants a quick mention before I wrap up this video, and that is the Unknown Yaksha. Unfortunately, there's pretty much no lore on the mysterious Yaksha outside of the records of Drayun and the Tenacity of the Millilith set. A lot of the lore seems to point at the idea that the Yaksha died in the Cataclysm, but there are other entries that suggest that they're still alive. Regardless, I expect that at some point there may be a quest that elaborates on this, but we'll just have to wait for the patch and see what happens. And with that said, that is everything that we know so far about the Chasm. But before I officially end the video, I just want to say that I'm super excited for this upcoming patch. I have a feeling that the Chasm will be very similar to Enkanomiya. There will probably be like an upper half, which is the crater that was formed by the meteorite, and at the bottom of the crater will be the entrance to the mines and tunnels beneath it. Anyways, I am rambling at this point. I'm just so excited for the Chasm, as it will be a massive addition to the game, both in terms of the map as well as the lore. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know your thoughts on the Chasm below. What are some things you expect to see in the next patch? If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It would really help out my channel, and I would really appreciate it, and I will see you guys next time. Peace!